Hi, this is Sangita. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about Stoic philosophy, the absence of woman in Stoic philosophy. Now, my knowledge in this field is pretty lukewarm. I know just the basic, but nothing in depth. So I recently downloaded an audiobook called The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. Now, as a young woman trying to learn more about this philosophy, I was naturally curious about a couple of things. For example, why aren't there many women Stoic philosophers? And maybe there are, but I don't think we really get to hear from them or learn from them. My second question is, why does this philosophy appeal to men in general than women? And I ask this question only because if you go to YouTube, you'll see that most of the videos that have been made in Stoic philosophy, they have been made by our fellow male YouTubers. And I know I just can't make a conclusion based on that, but I guess that itself speaks a lot. Also, when I did a Google search, I found this list of male Stoic leaders, and somewhere in the middle I found one female, Portia Catonis. I would have to specifically type in woman Stoic philosophers to find out about 3 Stoic women, ancient Stoic woman philosophers. And that too, I think I was a little bit disappointed in a sense that the articles that I came across, they didn't really talk about these women's contribution to the philosophy. So I was left with confusion because these articles only talked about the lifestyle. So I was wondering if these women were indeed Stoic philosophers or just an ardent lover of philosophy. Or perhaps, maybe I just need to learn a little bit more about the lifestyle, because what happens is sometimes when you get to learn about the lifestyle, you can actually see what type of principles they implemented in the day-to-day life. So here I am in this video trying to answer my own questions. So we are talking about the ancient era, the Roman era, where men and women, they had completely different set of roles, responsibilities, priorities, and interests. Women, they did not have the same type of opportunities and platforms to express their thoughts. They also had limited role in public. Moreover, they were supposed to behave modestly, look a certain way, protect their virginity, and basically learn the household stuff so that they can prepare themselves for a good marriage. Men, on the other hand, they were the breadwinners. They were the ones dealing with the outer world, politics, economy, business, and meeting in groups during their leisure time discussing philosophy. I feel that because of this structure, philosophy failed to make an impression on the other gender, which is woman. And also because women were conditioned to take care of the household, their kids, husband, perhaps this philosophy was not rewarding enough. Now, what I mean by rewarding is, for example, let's say I have an aunt. She is the most kind, caring, nurturing person in this earth. But she has 5 dogs, and I'm someone who is scared of dogs. So whenever she invites me for dinner, how do I respond? I get anxiety because as much as I want to go and see my dear aunt, those dogs scare me. So there's no positive reward here. Now, forget about the dogs. Let's take them away. My aunt, she's still the nicest person in this earth. Now, she invites me for dinner. How do I respond? I get super excited because I get to see my aunt. It's all about good times and good food. That's my positive reward. So, similarly, woman in that era, she spends her whole day taking care of the household, her kids, kitchen, gardening, farming, whatever she's doing. What does she want at the end of the day? Maybe just a little bit of love and attention from her husband. That's her reward. Philosophy would mean pretty much nothing to her unless she herself has been exposed to various philosophical ideas. She takes a keen interest on them and actually makes an attempt to implement some of those principles to make her life better. Otherwise, this philosophy would not really be rewarding for her. I also feel that perhaps this philosophy comes across as aggressive. I mean, just the word stoic, it sounds daunting to me. So here's the meaning of stoic: a person who can endure pain or hardship without showing their feelings or complaining. It sounds brutal, doesn't it? I mean, Stoic philosophy is so much deeper than this, and I feel that perhaps throughout the years this philosophy has been misunderstood, and maybe that's one of the reasons why it really failed to make an impression on the other gender, which is woman. I also feel that perhaps Stoic philosophy was written by men for men, and I say this only because all the principal leaders of Stoic philosophy are men. If we closely look at the core foundation of Stoic philosophy, it's actually a practical way of living. It's not gender specific at all, not at all. But because at that time men had a huge role in public, this philosophy found its audience. And remember that philosophy is always written at a certain time and for certain audience. I guess that's kind of true for pretty much everything. Anyways, here we are in 2020. It's a completely different world from the world in comparison to the ancient era. Our roles and responsibilities are shifting along with our priorities and interests. As a woman, I think we have better opportunities and platforms to express our thoughts, and we also have instant access to all the information and resources. So I feel that as a woman, the best we could do is learn about this philosophy and pick some of the core foundational principles that can actually apply in our modern lifestyle. And I know there are way too many concepts these days, feminism, spiritualism, but the best we can do is just pick few of them and apply. There are a few things that I really like about this philosophy because it talks about living in agreement with nature, being rational, live by virtue, focus on what you can control and what you cannot. I think this itself, it's going to resolve like half of our problems. And take actions because Stoics are doers. One thing that I'm not really fond is it talks about practicing misfortune, and I think the idea is if you think of all the possible negative scenarios, and just in case you happen to be in that scenario, you would be able to handle the situation more gracefully because you have already thought about, okay, if this happens, then I'm going to take this action. If that happens, I'm going to take that action. So it prepares you during the bad times. But I'm someone who believes in the law of attraction, and as per law of attraction, you get whatever you visualize. So I would not want to practice any misfortune because I don't want any misfortunes in my life. And I think by nature, I am somewhat a positive person. I do think of the negative stuff, but not really to that extent. So I'm not really fond of this principle. Anyways, that's all for today. Well, if you happen to be someone who knows about this philosophy, and if you have your own thoughts as to why we don't really see women Stoic philosophers, or why we don't see women in general talking about this philosophy, let me know what your thoughts are. I would absolutely love to learn from you. Alright, that's all for today. Until next week, my lovely friends, take care, learn something new, learn Stoic philosophy. Alright, namaste.